I live? And I'm here with the lovely Bradley.
Yes, we are live.
Bradley Simmons.
Okay,
what do you want to know today, Brad?
So I've come to you to ask you a few questions because you're the brains when it comes to nutrition.
There's a lot of talk at the moment about mental health, and I think it's a subject that probably everybody knows someone that's been affected by it.
100%. Okay, let's get straight to it. Let's not bore these people. What are the many reasons, causes for children or adults to develop an eating disorder?
Well, I think, so one thing I think it's quite important to clear up is that eating disorders come in all shapes and sizes, all different kind of forms. So they can really stem a lot of the time and have nothing to do with food whatsoever. These are psychological illnesses, so that it's a mental health illness, and it's a bit worrying because it's an invisible one. Sometimes you can't see. For instance, anorexia is probably the one eating disorder I think you'll have heard of, that everybody knows of, but you can be anorexic and be overweight. Yeah.
Talk me through that.
There you go.
Talk me through
it's all about the mindset and what defines the actual term anorexia in itself, the form of restriction. But to define an eating disorder, the criteria is predominantly: are you overthinking shape and weight? Do you have a fear of weight gain in any shape and form? Is it preoccupying your mindset, and is it getting in the way of your everyday life? So you can get binge eating disorders, night eating syndrome. People that eat throughout the night time. Obviously, you can have bulimia, anorexia, orthorexia. Bradley, there are so many different types.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's your advice out there to people out there who potentially have these bad eating habits? Because it starts with a bad eating habit, doesn't it?
Well, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So for some people, it's not even about the food in itself. It's just a method of control or a coping skill. So let's say, a lot of the time, unfortunately, it's to do with a trauma, and a trauma can happen in childhood or at any time in your life. And if we haven't got resilience and we're not strong and we haven't got a supportive network or a coping skill, that can be replaced with food. Some people it's drugs, some people it's alcohol, smoking, and for some people it's food.
Okay, I see.
So it's not something that we can control with willpower.
Okay, and that's that bracket. Let's say people that actually are overweight. Through bad nutrition, lack of exercise, lack of education. Can that then lead into an eating disorder?
I think you can't just develop an eating disorder from being a certain shape or size. It's probably more to do with what's happening in your life at that point in time. But of course, having different eating habits that are not helpful for you, it's still a form of self-harm. If you think about it, if you're not eating and looking after yourself, you're kind of punishing yourself.
What's your advice out there to people who may struggle, may need that help from actually yourself?
I think the first point of call is to go to a doctor. So if you think you've got a problem and you need some help, please don't feel you have to suffer in silence. So maybe find a close relative or a friend. I know Bradley's very close to your brothers and sisters, aren't you? So you're very fortunate that you've got a very supportive network. If you don't, please don't worry, because there are lots of services. So your GP can refer you. However, the waiting list on the NHS can be up to 3.5 years.
Wow, So you're looking to invest. You have to invest, right?
Hugely. It's
worth doing.
It is worth doing, but that's a long time, and that's a crucial time period. So for someone that's struggling or needs help, waiting 3.5 years could only make it worse. That could be too late. So there's BEAT, the online charity, the National Centre for Eating Disorders, and of course the Samaritans. So you can phone if you need to, all these different types of services that exist online to help someone. And
is there any influencers you recommend people to follow?
I think when it comes to social media and eating disorders, you have to be very careful. I mean, some will be beneficial, some won't, but every eating disorder is unique. So it's up to that one person to decide, is this account helping me or not? But then we have a responsibility as well.
Me being a personal trainer, I find my responsibility when it comes to fitness. Someone wants to improve their fitness, someone wants to improve their appearance, I'm the person to come to. But then I guess it's a fine line between do you follow me and then potentially is it a bad thing to follow me? It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is. And I often tell people, even my account as a nutritionist may be triggering for someone that shouldn't be focusing on their food right now. Sometimes people with an eating disorder, the last thing they should be doing is looking at fitness accounts and food accounts.
Yeah, what should my six-pack work out?
Yeah, it's probably not going to help
No.
some people if they're in that state of mind, but we've got to remember that every account has a purpose, and social media has really good aspects of it, just as much as the bad.
Oh, 100%. I definitely think there is more, but obviously people are going to talk about the bad.
This always happens.
That is so true.
It is so true, because no matter how many people you can help, it's like with any kind of headline in the news, you see the negative on the news, right? You don't see, oh, so-and-so got an A star in exams. You see, oh, it's the record for the lowest achievement in the year or something coming up on the news.
Yeah.
But in terms of how many people now are suffering,
it's crazy, isn't it?
1.25 million was the latest stat in the UK.
In the UK.
And imagine how many are actually come forward.
That's just the stat. That's just people that come forward.
Yeah.
There's more probably haven't actually come forward, especially men.
11% of that were men, only 11.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's because men don't speak.
Well, we got big egos, don't we? We got big egos. It is just the way it is.
Is that why? Why do you think that men don't come forward with these types of problems?
I just don't, men want to be men, you know, they want to be proud, they want to feel like they're an alpha male. If they are struggling, they're not going to tell anyone. But you need to. You definitely need to. Even myself, I've had some bad times when I was a footballer. I did maybe had really bad injuries. I wasn't mentally ill, but I did definitely suffer. And I seeked help from my family, my friends, and it helped me. You know?
I think having a supportive network is so important. You can be at any stage in your life, but if you don't have somebody that you can talk to, and I think Bradley saying that is actually great, especially for any men out there, because you admittedly say, look, I needed my mum, my family, I just needed them around to pick you up when you're feeling down. And I think things to look out for anyone looking for anyone with an eating disorder, or you're worried about someone, is also look at their behaviours, especially in the gym. You must see it as a personal trainer. Do you see any signs?
Yeah, but I find these days when people are too energetic, when they're maybe too smiley, I'm like, hang in a minute. Hang there. You should be that smiley. You should be that happy in the gym. I guess, what would you say is the biggest signs?
I think over-exercising. So if you see, if you're a PT and you see someone coming to, let's say, 3 classes a day, surely that can't be good for them.
Yeah, I knew someone back in the day, obviously not going to mention names, they would cycle to the class, then go cycle to another class, and just post all on Instagram. They were crazy. They wanted to do everything. They wanted to be involved in everything. And one day she just absolutely crashed.
Yeah.
And you didn't see her on Instagram for 3 months. So she needs to find a balance.
Yeah, I think balance is a good word, and in terms of over-exercising as well, the effect that has on your hormones and your health is huge, and also muscular repair and tissue damage. And if you're not eating well anyway, so people with an eating disorder are often very malnourished. Another interesting thing is you can be obese and be malnourished and underweight.
Yes.
So too much and you're not getting the nutrition in just as much as too little. This is really important because your bone health and your joint health and
everything, your eyes, your hair, the movement, energy levels.
Energy, and I think energy levels is a good sign to pick up on. So you may notice, like Bradley said, people can either be extremely hyperactive, and that's because when people are often in a starvation period or starvation mode, and some people get this from fasting, your gut sends a signal that releases the happy hormone serotonin in your brain because it protects you to black out the feeling that you're not getting food in. So people that say, I feel so good right now, I haven't eaten in a while, often that euphoric high is because you're actually not getting enough food and your body's trying to protect you.
So almost in starvation mode, and you're sending a signal to try and maintain positive.
Yeah,
just
to get you through the day. The body is an amazing thing.
Just as the rate in eating disorders increase in the UK?
Yeah, I think all around the world, and the UK in particular, people are now more open about coming forward.
Yeah.
But eating disorders on the rise. I think if we're talking about social media, surely because there's now more image-based platforms, that will only increase the amount if we're looking at it from that angle.
Yeah, it shouldn't, but unfortunately it does.
Yeah.
But I think, is that a lack of education from an early age of school? Is that like...
It could.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like the new magazine. So back in the day when I was younger, it was looking at magazines. However, now it's almost like you're reading a magazine 24/7 and looking at airbrushed and filtered images.
Yeah, it's very key to pick the right magazines.
Yeah.
Avoid those ones you see. Avoid the ones you see the reality TV stars on. Go for the women's health, the men's health, good.
realistic images. I think that in the media in general, there's just too much airbrushing, and you can't see what's real and what's not. So social media could be one factor. I also think stress is another. The fact that we're under such huge pressures these days in our jobs, there's no such thing as 9 to 5. People clock off at like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Especially those that are trying to create a social media platform.
Yeah.
9 to 5 is out the window, it's 24/7.
Yeah, Bradley will know.
I know. I wake up, what's my Instagram saying?
Yeah.
Just before I go to bed, what's my Instagram saying? It's crazy.
Exactly, and perhaps that's not the healthiest thing for us. We need breaks mentally.
Of course, I think because the likes of ourselves doing well, creating a good buzz, so many people want to become an influencer these days. But then a lot of people get affected by it.
Do you feel as a, I'm going to ask you now.
Yeah, ask me. Ask me a question as well.
Do you feel as a fitness, obviously in the fitness industry, someone that people go to, do you feel pressure from a body image perspective as well to maintain a certain physique?
I used to, 100%. I wouldn't say I had an eating disorder, but I used to be really strict with my diet.
Yeah.
Especially came to shoots. Even with, let's say I was in Ibiza, Ocean Beach, I'd be making sure the sunlight is on my abs.
Really?
On my abs constantly.
So is that the trick? Put the sunlight on them and then
like, as soon as I'm in the shade, I was worried about, oh my god, there's Brady Simmons in his pictures he's got abs, but he doesn't look it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
That was when I first started and I had that pressure. Now I just realised I've grown up a little bit. Your body is what it is.
That's so interesting.
It's mad, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, but that obviously preoccupied your thought process, and you can't have been the only man out there.
No, honestly there's guys out there. You see, if you go to Ocean Beach now, I'm telling you now, all the guys are where the sun is shining.
Yeah.
It just is what it is, and it is bad to be fair. People should be happy in their own skin. For me, I train hard and I eat well, and that's my main focus. My results, my appearance is a bonus from that, but I make sure I'm feeling healthy, my energy levels are good, I'm sleeping well, and that's what I'm trying to advise.
I think that's really a good message, to look after your body. And I do think we also need to find some people out there then to say, look, it's okay, you can look any way you want to look. It's not about looks. Health is an internal thing.
100%. I think your appearance, your looks is a bonus from your health. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many, you can get the best body in the absolute world. You could be the most unhealthiest, unhappiest, most miserable person in the world.
That is very true. It's just like with money, isn't it? You can have all the money and be miserable.
So my advice is health before appearance.
I think that's really refreshing to hear, especially from a personal trainer in this industry as well, that how you look should not be the dictating factor. You train to feel good, to get the heart rate up. And I think you wanted to discuss calories and macros and things.
Yeah, so this is another subject which is very, because obviously personal trainers do it one way, nutritionists maybe do it another way.
Yeah.
Coming from a fitness point of view, and I know you've done a personal training qualification,
I'm learning.
So you already get taught how I got taught.
Okay, yeah.
So we got taught this, simple, count your calories, figure out your macros, your metabolic rate, train hard. If you maintain your calorie intake, you're going to be in good shape, you're going to maintain a healthy physique, which is a fact, right?
Yeah, well, energy in, energy out is a pretty
so it's a fact. So my advice when I train a client, especially someone losing weight, I say, cool, let's work out your basic metabolic rate. Let's see how active you are, and on different days we'll maintain this amount of calories because that's your basic metabolic rate. And then on days that we're active, we might add a few more calories. Maintaining protein, good sources of carbs, good fats, all those macronutrients.
So the pros of that approach are that you're not excluding a food group.
Yeah, I would never exclude anything.
Yeah.
I'm not that type
But the other flip side to the coin is if you've got someone that comes to you that doesn't want to count calories, that has a history of disordered eating, that's so true.
Yeah, and it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
But is that my fault, or is that...
Well, I think it's the responsibility to adapt. Like, I find that no one size will ever fit all. Some clients, if they want to come to you and you say, this is how I work, then they can take or leave it, of course. They can go somewhere else if they don't like your approach. But we have to be open to the fact that that's not going to be for everybody out there.
100%. I know it's not going to be for everyone. It wasn't for my sister.
Yeah, exactly.
So my sister, we did a weight loss. I tried to get her, look, let's just figure out the calories, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, probably, I hate it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's okay, of course, this is what we're going to do then.
Yeah.
The portion sizes that you eat, we're going to take a little bit off on.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a better way of introducing a calorie deficit.
Totally, and I think you've also got to remember that calories don't paint the whole picture.
No.
So a calorie doesn't tell you all the little vitamins and minerals that are in your food. No. And that's the problem. And also it's just a mathematical equation, it's not 100% accurate. So a number that, the same calculation that we're all using is never going to be 100%.
No. But I have seen personal trainers out there that say to someone, maintain your calorie intake. I don't care if you eat Haribos or chocolate.
Which is not right.
And I really am against that. And I've even measured a few personal trainers and said, look, I don't agree with that approach.
It's
people
quality.
People need to eat real food, 100%. Real food, and make sure they don't overeat.
I think it's a good balance, isn't it? You have to enable yourself to have those things you want every now and again, but find what works for you and find what makes you function and thrive.
But seek the right professional help.
Yeah, I can't express enough. If you're looking for a fitness instructor, make sure they're fully qualified. If you're looking for a nutritionist, please make sure they're qualified, because otherwise they'll try and sell you lots of things you don't need, and you don't need to live off supplements to be healthy. You can get it all from food. That's the miracle of it.
It's one of those ones, if you really want to invest in your health, if you do want to have a transformation, use me as your trainer, and then use this wonderful lady as a nutritionist, you know, just invest. It's worth the money, it's worth the investment. 12 weeks later, you'll be super happy, and you will have learned so much. So then you can maintain it.
Well, I think we should all be working together. Like what Bradley's just said, we should have doctors referring to fitness experts, to nutrition experts, and we should all be helping expand our knowledge, because we're never going to be experts in everything. Even I don't consider myself an expert, because there's too much to learn.
I have so much to learn.
It's we've been learning forever and forever.
I tried to, don't get me wrong, but it's hard. I'm not a sponge.
Very, very true.
Okay, not everyone can afford to see a nutritionist or a personal trainer or a personalised plan. What's your advice to them when it comes to diet?
I get asked this a lot. It is extremely expensive to see one-to-one a health professional, especially if it's not through the NHS service, which
is some technique, isn't it?
Yeah, and it rarely is unless you have a chronic illness or a condition. You'll be at the top of the pile. I think the best thing is to try and educate yourself wherever you can. So read up on the right books with the right professionals. Obviously I've got a book on nutrition, Bradley's got one on fitness as well, and I think it's important that if you educate yourself, you can make the informed choices. So back up all your resources.
Yeah, honestly, just get on the internet, find yourself a good book and read yourself.
But check the sources are qualified. So Google is not the answer. I will throw that in. Really? Google's not going to be the thing you go to.
No more Google for me then.
No more Google, Brad. No more Google. Try NHS Direct.
NHS do that. I do like the NHS website.
They've got a good search button. But also, if you can't afford it, there's lots of online access services now. So you can do Skype sessions with people as well. Find someone in your local area. If you're looking for a nutritionist, try the AFM register or the BDA, the British Dietetic Association, their search engine tool, and you might find someone in your local area that can do a little bit of an offer. It's worth trying, 100%.
Okay, now this is my question. Should we be learning the basics of nutrition and exercise at early age at school?
Yes. Didn't even need to think about that.
That's crazy, isn't it? Did you learn nutrition and exercise at school?
No, I learned to make fairy cakes.
I learned how to make a Victoria sponge.
Did you? Was it good?
Yeah, it was good, but I haven't made one since. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, fairy cakes, but now there's all these new regulations that people have to even be careful in schools cutting knives, using knives, equipment. So kids actually, we do need to get more, I think it used to be called home economics back in the day before even I did it, but food technology, we need to up the game.
Yeah, food technology should be food education.
Yes, it should. I went up north and did this talk, and they were asking me, should I be doing, juice cleanses, or should I be taking apple cider vinegar? They didn't know. And then when I go to schools, some children think ketchup is tomatoes. They don't know that it's from a tomato.
And their parents aren't going to teach them because they don't know themselves.
No.
So it starts from a young age. It starts from teachers actually.
It does. But it is important to separate that eating disorders are a mental health illness, and that's not related back to your education around nutrition.
Of course not.
That's a separate kind of thing, but
100%.
the more we have, the better.
Yeah, the more education, the better. Because I do feel there's so many fad diets out there, so many companies taking advantage of the uneducated.
The one thing I love is that you do eat a whole food group. Like you don't cut carbs, you don't cut any of this stuff.
Do you know what? It's because I actually love food.
Yeah.
It's because I love the taste of food and I know the energy that it gives me.
Yeah.
I'm not, let's just say I want to be 6% body fat, which I don't.
Yeah.
Then of course you might have to diet in certain ways, which is not exactly healthy.
But it's not maintainable.
It's not maintainable at all. So for me, having a well-balanced diet, having a chocolate bar every now and again is perfectly fine for me.
Could you touch on that just quickly? I know we're running out of time, but a question for, I know a lot of people that would be following my page would be, when you're getting ready for a cover shoot or a big, I know you do a lot of things in men's health, you're doing all these kind of cool moves. Do you train and diet for this one opportunity, and is it a one-off thing and then you go back to normal?
Yes, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Yes. Totally honest with you. If I'm shooting with Men's Health or GQ or any magazine, every model does it. You train twice a day, you eat super clean, you really watch out for your calories, make sure your protein is very high. And even the day before the shoot, you're massively dehydrated because you don't want any water retention.
Yeah, okay.
So it's crazy. On the shoot, for example, I might look ripped and I might look healthy, but really I am exhausted, I am like, feeling a bit miserable, a bit tired.
Low in energy, mood.
And then I go, lads, I need a beer. Straight away, and I'm back to normality. And I maintain a good 10, 11, 12% body fat. I'm eating very healthy food, I'm training regularly.
It's so good for people to hear that, because I think some people will pick up a magazine and see a picture of you in it and think, I don't look like that, but you don't look like that all the time because you dieted for that.
But don't get me wrong, if people want to get to a 10% body fat, the training they see me do for a cover magazine is definitely going to inspire them. But just to let you know, it's not maintainable, it's not sustainable.
Not forever.
But you can definitely give it a go and give yourself a goal and train towards that goal, which I think is very important.
100%. Well, I hope that's kind of cleared up things.
Yes, we could talk for ages. We're actually going to turn this on, we're going to carry on talking.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn from this one.
Have a lovely day, everyone.
Cheers.